Welcome to today's show. Welcome to Unapologetically Unstoppable, the live show. And I'm so excited for you to be with me today. So, if you are serious about scaling to seven figures, which I hope that you are, because otherwise, why are you even listening to me? Let me ask you this. Can you find any document in your business in under 10 seconds? If not, you're already slowing yourself down. High level CEOs don't waste time searching for files, they have systems that work for them. So, today I'm going to show you the exact folder organization system you need to streamline your business, scale faster, and stay stress free. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it, and I'm so excited you guys are here. If you guys are here and you're watching live, please say live, live, live. And if you are here in the chat, if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay, because I love to see everybody here. So I want to know, do you already have a folder system in place that anybody can come to and see and understand right off the bat? Okay. So go ahead and drop that answer in the chat, and I can't wait to find out for sure what that looks like for you. Also, I just got my nails done. Look at this. Spring nails. Okay. So, the cost of a messy digital workspace, like why this actually matters. Okay. So, the hidden time drain. So, we have so much stuff that we're doing as women, as CEOs, right? And we don't have time to be looking for things. Lost files equals lost money, right? Like if I'm looking for things, I'm wasting time. If I'm telling my client something, I'm wasting time. If I'm telling my VA something and they're looking for things, it's wasting time. Hey, Darlene, so glad you can be here. So if we are searching for things and looking for things and not being organized, then it causes confusion, mistakes, and a ton of bottlenecks. The things that I do to set up my systems is so that way anybody who comes into my business knows exactly where to find things. It is so organized. And it's not because I like organization. It's because I like my time. I like efficiency. So the reason for the vehicle still has a vehicle, right? So I want you guys to start thinking about your business like an enterprise. Your business is not a side hustle. If we're going to get to seven figures, which we are because we're assigned to millions, then what we need to do is we need to start acting like it's a business and not a side hustle. A side hustle, you can just like commingle your funds, you can have things here and there, but an enterprise is a well-oiled machine. Think about Google. Um, think about Riverside. I'm on Riverside right now. Do you think that their files are anywhere and everywhere? No, you can't build sustainably like that. There's a book that I read once that was basically teaching you how to put everything in the mind of a franchise. Like if you're going to do something, make it so that way it's franchisable, which means you have all your systems in order. You have everything makes sense. So if you're tired of chaos, let's dive into the exact system that's going to help change your life. So I have the three level folder structure that every CEO needs, right? We've got the core folders, we've got the subfolders, and then we've got the automations and integrations and how to like make sure that everything is really workflowed in there, okay? So your core folders. This is where you need to have all of your high level, the things that you're talking about, right? So for me, it's like I've got one that says management. In my management folder is everything that's managing my thing that nobody really needs to know about. It's got all my information about my contractors in there. It's got all my P&L in there. It's got all my contracts in there for contracts with contractors. It's got the templates for contracts. It's got all of those types of things because I don't want anybody messing with them or changing them or redirecting what they're supposed to be because those are very important documents. So only a few people have access to that. So it's me, my director of operations, and that's it. Because she needs to know and help me with all those things. But at the same time, my low level VA doesn't need to know what the other contractors are doing. That's really none of her business, right? And then we've got the operations, all the operations for our business, how we're doing things. So what are we doing? Are we doing programs? Are we doing webinars? Are we doing challenges? What are those operations things that we're doing? All of those need to go in the operations folder as programs and operations so that we know what is going on where. Marketing. This is where all of my marketing material is. And I'm not talking about when I create a post. I'm talking about my brand images. I'm talking about my brand folder that has all of my colors, my fonts, my my everything in it. It's got photos, it's got what types of photos, it's got the emojis that I use, what types of emojis I'm not using. And then I've got a client folder. And in that client folder, I've got potential client, active client. And then it goes down into everything else specifically for them. So I've got an archive folder, but in the client folder, it's got who they are. I've got this thing I call a one sheet. And in the one sheet, it's got their name, their address, how long they're with me, any pertinent information that I need to know about them, what type of business they have. A lot of the stuff I remember, but sometimes I might forget. Oh, they've got a kid this age, and it's like a Rolodex, really. The one sheet is like a Rolodex. And so, like in each one of those subfolders, it's got even more information. So I know that if I'm at the top level and I see marketing, I'm like, okay, what is marketing? Marketing is everything that I look like on the outside. So it's going to have my media kit in there. It's going to have my branding folder. It's going to have my images, like I said. Finance folder is going to go in my management folder because my finance stuff nobody needs to see except for the people that I need and I trust. So it's going to have my bank account routing information. It's going to have my EIN number. It's going to have my business one sheet, which is going to have all of the things that I buy, all of the contractors. It's going to have the things, like let's say I have Riverside and I've got a subscription. It's going to have when that subscription is over, so that way I know when I need to upgrade or downgrade or pay for that thing. And that needs to go on the P&L as well. And then the level 3 is really about our automations and integrations. Like, how can we connect things to make everything flow good, flow well? So for me, automations are all in my CRM. And for my CRM, I use Go High Level. And in Go High Level, I have things that are automatically being done. Like when somebody clicks on this, then they get moved to this folder. So that way I know that they are a little bit farther along in my ecosystem because they are ready to maybe buy. Maybe they have a little more questions. Maybe they're ready for the next step. And so I have that automated so that way I know who's ready for the next step, who still needs a little bit more nurturing, and who's ready to go deeper with me and for me to actually transform their business and their mindset through a biblical type way. Okay, so now that we're talking about structure, I just wanted to show you what that structure looks like in my own personal drive, okay? So this is going to be really deep dive into what it looks like, and I'm going to screen share that because I just am. Okay, so now that you see what mine looks like, I've got my management folder, my podcast folder, my SOP folder, my management folder, my clients, my hype events, my courses, my programs, which are different, my templates, and my doing plans for my VA. And like I said, this is my one sheet. It's got my name and my brand name. Every client has one of these. So I'll show you the client template for the one sheet. So it's got a client's name, their website, their platforms, any branding information that I need to know about them, any important dates. Are they launching? Am I helping them with their metapixel? So I need to know their metapixel, their business description, their bio, their pricing, their address. This is stuff that I need to know about my clients so that way I can up-level my service. I can help them with that, whatever they need. And I don't have to keep asking them for where it's at. It's all in one sheet for me, okay? So this is the one sheet template. I thought I was sharing this. Sorry about that. This is the client's name, their brand, their links, their website, their platforms. What are they using? And if I am helping them with something, then I need to know their username or password, or if they're using NordPass or LastPass or anything like that. Their branding, all their details, their branding colors, their hex codes, their fonts, any images that they use or don't use, important dates, like if I'm helping them launch. Any pixels that they're using, their business description, their bio, their pricing, their addresses, like I said before. And sometimes I even put their birthday on here so that way I remember to send them a nice little cute note or whatever that looks like. But that's not always, right? So I need to have something like this where I can go to the one sheet and really up level what's going on. Okay, and then if I have something that I have a client one-on-one template. And so this is my management folder, right? So it's got all my personal stuff in it. Programs, hype events. These are the events that I'm doing, and these are the templates. These are the things that I've got going on, and each one of these has what I call a one sheet, because I also need to talk about what it is, the dates, where it's going to be, the email sequences, the sales page. When somebody comes into my business and I'm like, hey, we're going to launch systems for rapid growth, they need to know all the information. So it's got the dates, what it's going to be about, all the things that they need, and how I want my clients to feel, how I want the people who come to the thing to feel when they leave, right? So when I have all these one sheets and I have all this organization, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's for anybody that's going to be in my business and anybody who is going to help me up level my experience when I'm giving an experience online or in my business, right? So now, number 3 is maintaining and scaling that system. Like, how do we make it work for growth? How do we keep files organized with naming conventions and access controls? I talked a little bit about this. I come from a world of tech, which in tech, it's very big on naming conventions and access control. In fact, we have entire documents on exactly how to name things, because we want everybody who's anybody to understand exactly what the naming conventions are and who has access. That's what access control is, controlling the access to the things. And the way that I onboard people is that each position has certain information that they're privy to. Not everybody gets access to everything because they don't need everything. You only need access to what you need access to. Because if you have access to everything, I have no idea if something is missing, who to go to. If something is missing or messed up in my management folder, I know that it was either me or one of my other people. And sometimes I give them access to my login. So if they have access to my login, and I see this is that I did it, then I know that it could only be one of two people, me or this other person, right? My DO, my director of operations. And so if it's not my director of operations, it had to have been me. But if I have 17 people in there and they all have access to that, I have no idea who's stealing from me, who's doing what, who's copying my work, who's violating my agreements that I have with my other clients. That can't happen. So not everybody has access to everything. The social media person only has access to the marketing folder because that's all she needs. My podcast editor only has access to the podcast folder because that's all she needs. She doesn't need access to everything else. She just needs to know where the things are, to download the raw files and to upload the ones that are done. She doesn't need access to my financials. She doesn't need that. And so when we also talk about files, we need to also talk about where they're located, right? There's either cloud storage or local storage. Local storage is your actual computer that you take with you. I have some stuff that I have a copy of folders on my local, but most stuff goes in the cloud because I want to work from wherever I'm at. I am a digital person by digital. I am a military spouse. We go on vacations. We go different places, and I need it to go wherever I go. Sometimes I have my computer with me. Sometimes I don't. So I need everything to go with me on the cloud, and it's accessed through my unique ID card. Well, not my ID card, my unique username and password. And because of that, I want to make sure that everything is there. So when you have somebody who works inside your business, make sure that they have an account under your thing. They cannot own your files. This is very important. I need you to hear me. People that help you cannot own your files. You have to be the owner of your files. If there's a shared account that you use that's not your main account, that's fine that everything goes under there. But it can't be VA at VAVAs.com owning your files. Because for whatever reason, they can remove your access to their files because they own them and you no longer have access to your things. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because you need to own your stuff. Everything needs to be created under your profile or a profile that you own. So all of the people that work for me have an at JeanettePeterson.com account and they have all of their files that they create under that account. It all belongs to me. I could remove them access. They can't remove me access. Okay? So all of their files need to be accessed in that way, in their at JeanettePeterson.com email address, not their own. I don't want anybody having access to my files on their own. It just is not going to happen like that. Okay. So you don't need just an organizational folder system. You need a scalable system that grows with you, right? So you need something that's going to have not just the blueprint that I'm giving you here on how you're to get some organization in your file structure, but like what are you actually going to implement? So drop in the chat what you're going to implement first. Is it going to be folder? Is it going to be permissions? Is it going to be taking away permission from people so that way they don't access things that they don't need? Tell me in the chat what that's going to be for you. And are you actually ready to scale? Are you actually ready to do something like this? Are you actually ready to scale your systems without the chaos where I can help you with that? And if you are ready for that, drop systems in the chat and I will get you into our next 5-day challenge of the chaos to clarity challenge, where you can actually walk this out with me every single day for 5 days and how to uplevel your entire system, your entire ecosystem inside your business for 7-level success. So if you're ready for that, drop that in the chat or DM me. And I'm so excited to have you get to 7-figure success. Let's build your business the right way. So if you guys want any help with that, let me know, and I will see you in the next episode.